Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to get some practice making some chamfers and fillets on a pretty simple part here. But first, we're going to get some practice with geometric constraints here. So in our assignment, we got to draw this out, a 2D sketch with the following 2D constraints. All right, so whenever you're ready, let's head over to Fusion 360 and get started. All right, so the first thing you want to do is go on up and start a new design. All right, and make sure you're in inches here. Hit OK. And as we always do, let's start a sketch here on our XY plane. All right, I'm going to zoom in a bit here. And we need to first draw out a line that's 1.5 inches in height. So I'm going to just come on up here, type in 1.5, hit enter, come grab my line tool again, come across, and we need to make another line here that is 0.5 inches across. All right. And then I'm going to grab my line tool, and the rest of the part, we're just going to sort of eyeball it. We're just going to drag out, okay, the shape, and here we go. All right, so when you're done, you should have something that looks like this, hopefully. I'm going to hit escape. Now, when you drew it, you probably drew it out and you added some constraints. But for this assignment, let's go ahead and delete these constraints. And remember, constraints are things that sort of lock our drawings or our sketching lines into place so they don't move. All right, but let's delete all of our geometric constraints. Delete. So the only thing we have now are dimensional constraints here, 0.5 and 1.5. All of our other geometric constraints are now deleted. Now I'm going to go back to the assignment, and according to our assignment, we need to add the following geometric constraints. This is what our assignment would like us to do. All right, so let's go do that. Let's go back to Fusion 360. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and put in all the parallel constraints. Okay, so I want to make this line parallel with this line in any other vertical line on here. Okay, so I'm going to make this one now parallel with this one. Okay, and I think that's good for our vertical lines, but now we need to add some parallel constraints to our horizontal lines. So I'm going to click on this line. I'm going to add one here and add one here. I'm also going to make this one click here and click here parallel to that one. I'm going to go ahead and hit escape so I am out of parallel constraint mode. Now let's go ahead and add those equal constraints. So we want to make the lines equal. So I'm going to come up here to my equal geometric constraint. I want to make this one right here the same length as this one or equal to this line. So I'm going to hit equal. Okay. And I want to make this one here equal to that one. I want to add one more equal constraint. Click here and then click there. And that'll do it for our equal constraints. I'm going to hit escape. And now we're going to add one perpendicular constraint or a 90-degree constraint, right? So let's go ahead and click on it. And when we say something's perpendicular, that also means it's orthogonal or 90 degrees. So these lines are 90 degrees or perpendicular to one another. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to click here and notice my perpendicular constraint pops up. I'm going to hit escape now. And now I'm going to make our last constraint. I'm going to come on up here to my horizontal and vertical constraint. And I'm simply going to click on this bottom line and I want to make sure it's horizontal with this constraint. Now notice here it is fully constrained, okay? And we're good. Hit escape. If you're in my class, please take a screen snippet of this when you are done, complete with all these super cool geometric constraints that you added to it. All right. Now let's go ahead and finish our sketch. And we're going to extrude this L-shaped looking thing here out a distance of 1.5 inches and hit OK. All right, now we want to go ahead and add a fillet to the corners here. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to click on the fillet button, and we want to add a fillet on this edge, and this edge, and we're going to type that fillet radius to be 0.25 inches, and then hit OK. Okay. And go ahead now and save this as fillet. Okay. And if you're in my class, please also take a screen snippet of this guy. All right, and once you've saved it now, we're going to go ahead and change things a little bit so we can add some chamfers. So I'm going to go ahead now and edit. Click on your fillet down here, and we're going to edit that feature. All right, and I'm going to X out of them, and then I'm going to keep a fillet right here in that corner, but it's going to be 0.125 instead of 0.25, and I'm going to hit OK. All right, and now we're going to add what's known as a chamfer. It's like a beveled, angled edge on a corner. So I'm going to come over here to chamfer. And what I like about Fusion 360, if you ever just hover over something, it'll tell you or give you a description of what that item or feature is. So I'm going to go ahead now and click chamfer, and I'm going to put a chamfer right on that edge, and it's going to have a 1/8 or 0.125 chamfer on it. And I'm going to go ahead and select OK. Okay. And then for our second chamfer, let's come back up to chamfer and go ahead and select it. We're going to put a chamfer on this edge right here. Unlike that time though, we're going to use two distances, and we're going to click there. Okay, and for our top distance here is going to be 0.25. I'm going to hit the tab button. And for our other distance, it's going to be 3/8 or 0.375. Okay, and I'm going to hit OK. All right. When you're done, go ahead now and save the file as chamfer or whatever you want to save it as. That'll do it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.